it's EK from EK Gorman Designs, and I am coming in here with the October Craft Collabs hop. This hop this month is sponsored by Colorful Life Designs, which has provided us with a collection of stencils. I've got 3 I want to share with you today. This is a quick look at each of the 3, and I'm about to give a little bit more detailed look at each of them. This is the Damask stencil, which has some really intricate designs, and it's got all kinds of flourishes and floral feel to it. I'm going to distress blend in a little bit of evergreen ball oxide with my blending brush just to share quickly how intricate this design is. Look at that really cool design. So that's the Damask stencil. Then I have the striped Baubles. This has almost got a 3-dimensional feel if you do it right. I don't always do things right, but check out how cool this is once I pull the stencil up. Isn't that a fun feeling to that? That's the striped Baubles stencil, and I have a third one I want to share with you. I have the big Swirl, which to me looks like a giant peppermint. I'm really excited about this one. I think there's all kinds of really fun things you can do with this. It's got a naturally wintry feel to me, but I think if you really play with the stencil, you can use it all year long for all kinds of different effects. In fact, I liked the way this was looking so much, I went ahead and pulled out a second color of Distress Oxide and blended in a second color just to kind of share like where I think this could go. Check that out. How fun is that? So that is the big Swirl stencil. A Colorful Life Designs has provided us with these stencils, so I really wanted to create a design that featured the stencil, so I pulled out a non-Christmas holiday stamp. I actually pulled out this Impression Obsession stamp with 2 little guys because they're small enough that they can be on the card, but the card still features something else, and I wanted the stenciling to really be the star of it. While I'm stamping and starting to color, I pulled out my Copics to color up these 2 images. I was going to make 2 cards with these 2 images, but I want to go ahead and let you know that there is a blog hop prize going around by commenting on each of the different stops along the hop, and you can get more information about the hop in the blurb below, but along each way of the hop there is each stop of the hop is showcasing a new holiday stencil from A Colorful Life. To participate in our giveaway for one of 10 $15 gift certificates to A Colorful Life, listen for the secret word in each, yep, there's a different one in each of the hops along the way, and use that word in your comment. And the more creatively you can use it and not share what the secret word is amongst other people, wouldn't that be great? Each channel has a different secret word, so be sure to stop by each video and leave your comment. The more comments you leave with the secret word, the more chances you have to win one of 10 different $15 gift cards. And I'm not sharing my secret word yet, so you have to watch a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and color up both of these images. I was really struggling with the brown. I don't know. I skipped using the E27 and just it had bad shadows. I dropped the shadows in the wrong space, really. So you're just going to have to watch me futz with the brown a little bit to get it correct. It's one of the nice things about Copic markers is, especially if you're using good paper, and I'm using good Nina paper here. I think this is 110-pound paper that I'm using, is you actually have the ability to really go over and color and futz with it until you get how you wanted. I also got the nose too dark, so my brown fur is not working out well, and my nose is too dark. Yep, that's the kind of day it was going. Wait till I get to the kitty. The coloring on the kitty is actually pretty good. But I'm back to futzing with the brown, trying to get my shadows to kind of lay in where I wanted them to. And I finally, I think at this point, pulled out the E27 to make the blend between my darkest brown to my lightest brown less. And I stopped muddling around with the E21. So now I'm finally starting to get shadows where I want them and feel confident about how my little pupple's looking. And it just really involved darkening him up. And then I wanted to color in his eyes with, you know when like a chocolate lab looks at you with those big brown eyes that just makes you go, okay buddy, I got you. Those were the eyes where I was going for. I got them probably a little darker than I should have, but I think I came pretty close. I'm coloring the kitty a black and white tuxedo because that was my first cat I ever had, was a black and white tuxedo, and he could, like, if you were sitting and eating popcorn, he could pop up on the couch with nobody's business and, like, sucker you out of a piece of popcorn. And the cat loved presents more than anything in the world and thought peeking over the top of a present was hands down the coolest thing ever. So I'm definitely coloring up this kitty the way my tuxedo cat was. And like I said, with a couple really good flicks of my C9, I thought I got the fur laid in pretty well and was able to blend it out in a kind of natural looking way with the C7. No, where I'm upset with how the coloring for the dog went, I'm very pleased with how the coloring for the kitty went. Ironically, the dog is colored after my first dog. When I was growing up, I had a puppy named Sneakers and a kitty named Socks, and this is kind of what they looked like. And Christmas mornings with them were always fun, just because they were the kind of animals that were right there in the mix of Christmas mornings. I am going to go ahead in just a second, color in, I hated the nose came out wrong, and you'll see me in a minute grab a gray marker and tone down the nose. It was just too bright. See, there it goes, toned down, and it's so much better. I'm going to fussy cut out both these images, leaving slightly white border around the edges, and I'm pulling back out the little samples I made to see which ones the animals popped up best with, and I picked Big Swirl, and I picked Striped Bauble. So if you're looking for my secret word, the secret word is swirl. Figure out a way to use the word swirl in the comments without letting other people know that you knew what the secret word is. I'm going to pull out my Distress Oxide and my blending brush for this first one and blend in some aged mahogany. I wanted to go with 2 variations of red, so that way I could have kind of that pepperminty feel, but I'm really trying to lay heavy ink right in the center and then blend it out to be softer around the edges. So there's the aged mahogany, and now I'm going to pull in some Candied Apple and repeat the process. My mat I'm using is the Make Art Station. I work with stencils a lot, and I love the idea of a mat that you can wipe stenciling off and the magnet it. And so I found one on sale on World Card Making Day, and I ordered it, and now I'm playing with it for the first time. This is literally the first time I've ever used it, so there's some learning curves I've got here, but boy, it cleans up nice. I really think in the end I'm going to be glad I have it, because I hate pulling out tape every time I need to work with a stencil. I'm just using, I think, a little too much pressure. For the Striped Baubles stencil, I'm using a little Festive Berries and Lucky Clover. And yes, I'm messing things up because I don't always know what I'm doing. But I'm using the 2 colors and trying not to overlap them much so I don't get brown. And at the moment I think it looks awful. And there I don't think it looks great. But I pulled what ink was left on my blending brush and just kind of filled in the edges. And after looking at the Striped Bauble one, I realized how much I like the edges being colored in. So I did the same thing with the Big Swirl stenciled image, and just it's literally the ink that's left on my blending brush, and it worked out perfectly. And now I really love how both look. I wanted to trim them both down to 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches so that when I put them on a traditional A2 card frame, there would be a white border around them, and it kind of would create its own imaging. I could have die cut, but at the moment my die cut machine is buried under, I want to say mail, but it may not even be buried under mail. It may just be buried under random papers from school. I don't know. I'll eventually get my die cut machine cleaned out and back to work. So I've taken the 2 inked up images that I've got, and I'm adhering them now onto my A2 card frame. Sorry, you're going to get to play Watch Me Score Tape. Score tape is the best. If anybody has any objections to that, please let me know what your favorite adhesive is in the bottom, because I'm in search of something that isn't score tape, because score tape takes forever on videos. And now I get to peel. See, I hope you're all enjoying my sense of canny humor. I probably isn't real, but I think I'm funny. And peel. And adhere. Down. So I've got both of them adhered down. Now I'm going to bring in my little furry friends and add them back to the card frames. And like I said, I wanted these cards to be all about the stenciling. I love stenciling. Because maybe I come from a mixed media background, stenciling has always been one of my favorite tools. And when I realized that you could make really cool cards still stenciling, life was perfect. So I'm going to pull out, I need some sentiments, and I need some kind of cheeky fun sentiments since these are kind of fun images. So I pulled out the Ink Road stamps, Holiday, that's not even right, oh brains. It is the Happy Holidays stamp set, and pulled 2 sentiments that I thought were going to be appropriate. One says, I think it's something along the lines of, I think you need a Christmas carol, or I think you need me to sing a Christmas carol, and if you've ever had a dog, every once in a while they'll sing to you, or at least mine do. Maybe mine love me in especially weird ways. And the other one says, you have such a pretty face, it should be on a Christmas card, which I also thought was kind of fun, and just kind of the perfect way to wrap up these simple, but yet festive holiday cards. I pulled out my 3-dimensional tape because sometimes something as simple as this, a little something popped up, I think has a nice effect. So I put it down, and that's the you have such a pretty face, you should be on a Christmas card. And the other one is the one with the puppy that's about singing a Christmas carol. They needed a little jewels, so I pulled out just some red jewels and popped them onto the cards and left them really just there. So there's the first card with the big swirl stencil. And I don't know, I think it's fun. And there's the second card with the sounds like somebody needs a Christmas carol with the striped baubles. Don't forget to comment in the comments below using the secret word, and let me know which of these cards is your favorite. Until then, happy crafting, everybody.